This is your friendly neighborhood space pirate, Rixx Javix, and welcome. This is an unboxing video for the War for New Eden board game. Good folks at Titan Forge were nice enough to allow me to take home actual production versions of the game from FanFest, and took up two of our big pieces of luggage, and but we did manage to get them home safely. And ever since we've gotten back, I've been wanting to do this, so taking the time now to sit down and introduce you to the board game. This is actual production quality versions of the game, and this is the main box. This is the core box, and one of the things that you'll notice right away is it is very, very heavy. And also the texture of the box is really nice. And I think you'll find that all the materials from what we've seen of the core box are really good qualities, high quality. They didn't cheat out on anything. So we're gonna spin this sucker around so you get a good idea of how big the core box is compared to a giant space pirate. That's how big it is. I'm going to set it off to the side here. So let's open her up. Is it still recording? There you go. This box lid over here. So first thing is the game manual. Nice. So artwork for Rixx. So we'll set that over here. This is a game tray on the top. I'm going to take all these pieces out and set them on the table. Move this just a little bit. So what are these? These are a tray for tokens. Got some nice disc bags, I mean, not discs. These are asteroid tokens. There's some in here. There are little asteroid tokens. Got a bag for that. And a bag for discovery tokens, which is kind of nice. These are really nice bags. Okay. These are purple too. Bag's purple, these are purple. Pretty cool. Those are nice bags, heavy. So I'm gonna put those over here. What else do we have? More cards. These are event cards and mission cards and little event and mission tokens. Oh, this is the first time I'm seeing these in real life other than at FanFest. So this is an event card. It says it on the back. And then on the front these are mini poker card sized. And this is artwork from Rixx and descriptions and stuff on the cards. These are really nice. And heavy card stock. Look at that. It's not bad. These are not flimsy. They feel good in your hands. They got a nice little, I wouldn't call it matte finish, but it's not a gloss finish either, but it's maybe a nice UV finish, probably, if you know anything about printing. So that's what's in there. And that's how many of those are stacked up in there. So I'll set those aside here. And then this is the card tray that you use during the game. So I won't turn it up because all the cards will come out. And these are the mineral cards. This is Tritanium and Pyrite. Titanium and Pyrite. And if you've seen my player presentation from FanFest, you know how much effort and time it took to get these icons just right. But these are all of those. So that's nice. So these trays are really nice. And then they've got trays for all the tabs in them. So those are nice, and we don't want to get those spilled because they would go everywhere. So I'll set those off to the side too. Let's see what else is in here. Still haven't even gotten halfway through the box yet. Oh, these are all the character. Wow. Yeah, these are nice. Look at that. These are the tabs you keep track of all your progress in the game on, and nice artwork, character art. We've got one for each faction. Mimitar, Galente, Calari, and Amar. And then inside there is the dice, the white dice and the black dice, and then active development cards. These are where you, so you put these, you put this down, and then the cards that you use go in those 4 slots, so you can keep track of your development speed. And then each individual trays color coded for each of the factions. So you've got Galente, Calari, Galente, Amar. And you can see, I'll show with the Amar one. So if you open this up, these are the little plastic Amar colored tokens that you use on the character cards. So you would do this there, like that. Pretty cool. All right, so I won't get these out either because they'll be all over the place. But those are those. I'll put the player cards back. These are really thick, you can see. And set that over there. Still not even, oh, these have nice little finger things for you so you can get them out of here. And this is the board. These are the board hexes. So I won't, well, I will pull those out because I want to fill them too. So these are the board, this is how you build the board. So these are the hexes. Nice, really high quality. And then those just go together like that. And you just build out New Eden so that you can conquer it, blow people up, and steal their resources, and all kinds of fun things. So that's what that looks like. Very nice. And then, like I said, it's got slots on the side for your fingers so you can pull it out of the box like I just did. That's really nice. And then we come to the part that I was really looking forward to, which is spaceships. We got 2 of those. So the Amar and the Mimitar are together in one tray, and then you've got a separate tray for the Galente Ships, and then another tray in here for the Calari. Oh, and then, oh, that last one is double. And that's it for that. So this last one is double. Wow. Oh man, look at that. So it's double because it's got spaceship cards and stuff in it. So these are strategy cards. See those? Also mini poker sized. And then I'm guessing these are these faction development cards and more strategy cards. So you can see those, also mini poker sized. Really nice. Lots and lots of cards. All right, I was looking for the spaceship cards. They're right here. This one came in a sleeve. That was nice. It must have been for show at FanFest. Sorry about my itchy nose. No, this is a giveaway. I probably just gave you all the code. I'm not sure if it works anymore. But there's the Vagabond spaceship card. Now these are full-size poker cards, so they're a little bit bigger. And that's the back of the spaceship card, front of the spaceship card. Now when I was doing my presentation at FanFest, these were full screen. So, but now they're a little tiny. So it takes a little getting used to seeing them that small. I have seen them full screen. Which one is this? This is the cheetah. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the stiletto. These are really nice. Let's find a heretic. The curse. Scary. Zealot. And then here is Calari. And Flycatcher. Ooh, nice. This is the first time that I'm seeing these printed, other than briefly during FanFest when I was hanging out at the table. Excuse me, my nose is itchy. And Ishtar, this Galente, the Helios. These are really nice. And I think that's it. And then we've got rule cards. It's just nice that they printed these on full size so we didn't have to squint on the mini pokers. That would have been annoying. So this is spaceship cards. But I know what we're all looking forward to is what's in this part. And I'm not going to take all of these out, but look at that. So that's a Golem. And already on the stand because of, and I don't know if I don't think they come like this, but because this was a FanFest show piece, this is the Golem. So I'm going to set that here. These are also golems. Oh, no, so that's not a golem, that's a widow. So there's the widow. You can see how big it is. Pretty cool. So that's the widow. And then we've got Wii Ships, Cerberus. And I'm going to take close-ups of these later, but that's really nice. And a little tiny. Those are really nice. Flycatcher. Wow. Pretty cool. My wife's off camera, so that's why I looked over there. So I'm going to put the Calari ones back. And then the Amar and Mimitar, like I said, come in a tray together. So I'll open those up. And these are, well, the big ones do come on their stands already. Actually, all of them do. They all come on their stands. How about that? Farger. You know, we don't want to have any trouble with that thing. And then Panther. You know, even the, I'm going to open up the 200% spaceship models here in a few minutes, but even these are really detailed. Very nice. Nicely done. So that's the Panther. Sorry, Barger, like you're over there. Paladin. Yeah. You know, I know I talked to Kuba at FanFest about this and the person they had working on these models and how much effort and time it took to get the 3D models just right so that it could show as much detail as humanly possible in these models. This kind of a balancing act, you know. The more detail you put into it, but they did a really good job. And then, of course, all the little hurricanes, harbingers. Ooh, there they are. I guess absolution, harbinger hall, and then the curse. Really nice. And well, I'm curious to see the Hugon. That couldn't have been easy. I know he was telling me a story about the Golem and how the wings are very difficult to do. And so the model makers, when they sent one of the models back for approval, the wings were bent upwards at an angle, and they had to send it back for to redo because that's not what they look like. And they're like, you can't change the models because this is what the ships actually look like. It's like doing a car and putting one of the doors up at an angle. You can't do that. So those are the Amar and Mimitar, and then this is the Galente. Let's take a. This one seems to be taped shut. Oh, there it is. So, Kronos. Very nice. Put that out. And the Sin. Look at the size of that thing. I could have a war right now, with all these ships. The Astarte or the Brutix. Use your imagination. It could be a Brutix, but it is an Astarte, which is nice. And what's the other? Ishtar. Yeah. There's even the little exhaust, the cable connection between the front and the back inside there. Nice little touch. Thought we might lose that, but we didn't. There's the Ishtar and Lachesis, which unfortunately is the old Lachesis now because the hull was just redesigned, conveniently by CCP. Thank you, CCP, for that. Although it does look awesome in the game. Catalyst. How neat is that? Little Catalyst model. Who ever thought that we would live to see a Helios model? And I'm struggling to put it in the right direction, but that's the Helios model with the little kickstand sticking out. Never thought we'd live to see that. And the Tyrannus. Tyrannus models, how about that? So that is, now the box is empty. And so that's everything you need to get in the core box, which is quite a lot. And I'm going to cut and take a break and put all this back, and then we'll dive into the other stuff. I've got 200% and all the expansions. And as you can see, they're still shrink wrapped. I have, despite my impatience to open them all, I have waited for this to do that. So you guys hang out for a second, and I'll be right back. All right, so as you know, or may not know, Titanforge also committed to building a 200% version of the board game at FanFest last year. And these are the collector's boxes that the faction ships at the 200% level are in. So the thinking here was that if you were really in love with the Amar spaceships and you ordered the core box, but you also wanted the 200% of the Amar without having to purchase the entire game at 200%, then this is a package for you. There's also one for each faction, and also one for the Havoc expansion for the pirate ships. So I'm very excited about these. And I'm sure many of you who like to paint models and also, collect Eve spaceships would also enjoy these. So as much as I wanted to, I haven't opened these. That's why the box cutter is here. So we're going to dive into these, and I'm going to show you what these suckers look like in real time. So this is the Amar version. So we're going to open that sucker. And pull the Amar ships out. And that is that one. So these are the big boys, battleships, the marauders. I mean, so this is the Paladin, and you can see how much bigger it is than the ones that came in the core box, and subsequently how much more detailed it is. I'm going to do some close-ups with this as well, so you're probably watching that right now. But I mean, look at the underneath detailing on that. It's pretty impressive. And then the stands for each one of these, and they're custom stands. So one doesn't work on the other one. So anyway, that's how they work. So that's the Paladin. I'm just going to put these back for now. I was going to put them out on the table, but I think it's going to get kind of crowded. And the Redeemer, which a lot of us have seen way too many of in space, but pretty nice. So that's the Redeemer and the Paladin. And then the other ships are also at 200% of what they were in the core game. So that's the Absolution. Really nice. Really nice. And the Curse. Compare that to the Curse that was in the core game, and you can see how much bigger it is. And the Zealot, which also recently got redesigned, but it's close enough. They didn't change it as much as they updated it. It was a very nice thing. Razu. Crusader. And last but not least, the Heretic, which is actually really nice. These come already on their stands, so that makes it a lot easier for me since I don't have to figure that out while we're filming. But those are the 200% of the Amar Ships, and I'm going to put those back in the box. I should do this so that it still show out the window. There we go. So that was the Amar 200% collector's box. Pretty nifty little thing. And that's a good look at the back and the sides, featuring art by me and production design by Jed. Thank you, Jed. Nicely done. And then let's move on with this is the Calari version. So again, have it open these. And I'm going to use, I'm going to do that now, hopefully. Trying not to cut the box, I want to keep these boxes in a good shape. So this is the Calari. I'm going to open that up and we'll take a look at the 200% versions of the Calari ships. Set that aside. That's what that. And then these are the big boys. Wow. Wow, wow. You know, when you open it up and you go, wow, this is really, look at that Widow. I'm sorry. Gollum. The Widow is also nice. See, this is what distracted me because this is, I just love this design. Oh yeah. Look at that. I'm taking Saw from you. You're not. Anyway, I won't fight spaceship battles in public or on video but that is definitely what I'm, whoosh, right? Anyway, those are really something to see in person. Very nice. Nicely done. Titan Forge. Look at that. Oh boy. Nighthawk. Drake. We can call it whatever we want, but that is really, really nice. Cerberus. Crow. Blackbird. Boo, ECM. Nobody likes ECM, but other than the person flying it. Okay. Not always easy. There it goes. Yep. Not always easy to tell how it goes back into the ship. Oh, there it goes. And flycatcher. Look at the little details on the extremities there. Really nicely done. Look at that. And finally, yeah, I'm guessing that proved to be impossible to get that without a lot of problems, but that's the buzzard. So those are the Calari 200% collector's box spaceships. And there we go. Got it back. I'm going to put those back in here. Hopefully. And there we go. That wasn't too bad. These boxes are really nice, by the way, and they're textured and really pretty. So that's the Calari 200% collectors. And now we're going to Galente. This is the Galente box. Galente, mostly blob ships, but I love them, especially the Megatron Kronos hull. It's one of my favorites. So let's get this open. I hope I'm doing this at the right speed for everybody, but there's the fleet. And the bad boys. It's Marauders. Let's open this up and see what we got here. Oh yeah. Megatron. Or Kronos. But Megatron hull. I'm not wrong. But that is really, that's substantial too. These are heavy. This is a different I almost said plastic. It's not fair to call it a plastic, but this is a different compound than the ones in the core game, the smaller ones, for rigidity. Because if they had used the same compound for the large ones that they use for the small ones, it would be bendable. You know, we didn't want that, so it's a different compound used. This is the Sin. Yeah. Really nice. Never thought I'd be holding a Dominic's hull like that. That's pretty nice. And then the stands, of course, in there too. And then this is the fleet. Rest of the fleet. So we have the Astarte, based on Brutix hull, obviously. Really nice. Well, the nacelles are showing up really good. And even that front piece is good. I'm trying to remember how these go in. Ishtar. And even like I pointed out on the small ones, there's the little connector from the front to the back is under there, which is nice. These stands are really good too. Look at that. Yeah, nicely done. And the Lachesis, which is, again, essentially the same ship now that's been updated. The shape is basically the same, so it's not too bad. Eris, based on a catalyst, and Helios, one of the ugliest ships in the game, and the Tyrannus. Really nice. So that is the Galente ships. Let me get those back in their box. And then we'll take a look at the Mimitar, which I'm very excited about. In there we go. So I would hang on to these boxes when you get them, if you buy them, if you get those. Those are really nice boxes to keep those in. And then this is the Mimitar collector's box. So I'm just going to open that up and then we'll take a look. The Varger and the Panther. I was holding the Panther at FanFest. I was very, very impressed by the quality of the build on this 200% the Panther. So open this, slide these bad boys out. There is the Mimitar fleet. And then the Mimitar Marauders. So let's take a look at the Mimitar Varger. Yeah, you can almost see through the wings. Whatever those are. Solar power thingamajiggers. Who knows what they do. I'm sure there's an explanation somewhere. And I got it backwards. So now there we go. And then there's the Panther. Again, amazing levels of detail. Really sturdy, very heavy, substantial. It feels substantial in your hands. So that's nice. There we go. There's only one way they want to go in there. Which again, it shows you how they don't shake a lot when they're in there because they're form-fitted. So that's nice. No expense was spared. And one of my favorite ships in Eve, Vagabond. Very nice. It even has its frills. Thank goodness. Nobody forgot those this time. So there's the Vagabond. Really nice. Sleipnir. Obviously based on the Hurricane. Really nicely done. Wow. The Hugin. Which couldn't have been easy with all these things. Saber. You can get the Saber and the Blackbird together and you can gate camp Syndicate. And put that back in the right way. Oh, cool. And little wings. Oh, nice. And I forgot one. Cheetah. Which I honestly thought was going to be one of the ships that they updated, but they didn't. So I'm sure that'll be on their list. Probably the Helios and the Cheetah. If I had to guess. I had a discussion with George about that at FanFest. There we go. I'm going to block my face. It's so pretty. And then this is the Havoc collector's box. So this is the pirate ships. You can see the Havoc box with Deathless on the front. Nice. Let's take a quick look at these. And I can't believe I waited this long after FanFest to open these boxes either, but I did. And then let's pull these bad boys out. I'm really Pirate Fleet. Oh man. Gariel. That thing. Pew pew. Rattlesnake. Which, you know, again, is not the same as the Widow. So it's slightly different whole model. Really nicely done. And it goes in here somehow. There we go. And then let's take a look at the fleet. Alligator. Drake. Nighthawk. Alligator. this thing. Cereal. Worm. Merlin. Hawk. Harpy. Mechiball. Cinnaball. Yeah. Cinnaball. Got a Cinnaball ball. That thing. The Mamba. Dramiel. Oh. One of my favorite ships. It needs a lot of help though, so. And the Gila. Wow. Very impressive. All right. That was awesome. Those are the 200%. And then I'm going to do a quick tour of the rest of the expansions that come along with the game, or can come along with the game if you order them. And let me get this one put away. Face, I have no idea. Here we go. So that's the Havoc. I'm going to do the structures next, since it also has models. So this is the structure set. It's an expansion you can order, that you could order. I'm going to open that sucker up. It has keep starters and whatnot's in it. So let's take a look at what is inside this thing. You got a lot of structure models in here. That is. So let's take a look here. We've got Keepstar. Nice. Customs office. Rotaro, I think. I'm not yeah, Rotaro. And Athenor. Yeah. Neat. So those are the structures that come in the structures expansion. They're pretty cool. I thought we'd ever have like little custom office models. So that is the structure set. And okay, let's skip ahead. I'm going to skip ahead. These are the system control visual upgrade pack. This is what they look like. They're icons that you use instead of tokens. You use these cool icons on the board game. I'm not going to open these up because that's what they look like, and I want to get to something else. That was the same thing with the resource box. The resource expansion also replaces tokens on the board game with actual 3D modeled containers and versions of the minerals, and that's pretty cool. If you order that, then you can use these instead of the little cardboard tokens for it, which is really nice. Also a really nice illustration on the front of that box by yours truly. That I'm not going to open that either because it's basically what you saw in the back of the box. Same thing with this Succession expansion. Thought it would, a lot of comments during the Kickstarter about variations in the game and making things a little bit different. So this is where this came from. It introduces commanders to the game, so you can change up the character that you're playing, and then there's a lot of variation built into this pack. It's basically additional cards, additional character sheets, and things like that. It just basically expands the variation on how you play the game and adds additional elements to it to make the game more variable as time goes on, and you can really have a lot of fun with how you're approaching the game. So that's what the Succession pack is, Succession expansion. So really want to get to those. This box here for our final, this is the Titan expansion. This one, which also features nice artwork from yours truly, has Titans in it. So it introduces Titans to the board game. These Titans are built from resources that you collect during the game, and they actually impact the flow of the game and the landing conditions. This is like almost like advanced Dungeons and Dragons in a way, because this is when you get really good at the game and you're starting to notice some definite trends in how you're winning and how you're playing. Introducing Titans to the whole process kind of messes that all up. So whoever gets the Titan first, it has its own user's manual. It has its own cards that go on the side of the board. They fit right in nicely with your character sheet, and these are build. So for each one, those are how you build it, and you follow your progress along until you do, and then that's where you put your Titan while it's waiting for Cyno. So this is really cool. So the cool thing about the Titans in the game is that they are built in stages. So this is obviously the avatar. Everybody knows it. This is the avatar model. The cool thing about these is they come apart. And that's it. Oh. So they could go into 4 pieces. So as you're building it, first piece you build, and they have little magnets on them so that they snap together. Like that. Ta-da! I just finished the avatar. Now I'm going to doomsday my opponents into submission. So that's the avatar, the Leviathan. Yeah. And that comes apart like that. That. And like that. So again, magnets. Which is yet another thing that was suggested during the Kickstarter, which is pretty cool. I think it's insane. They're very strong magnets too. Look at that. Like, yeah. So that's the Leviathan. And my Erebus, I just messed it up pulling it out, but the Erebus with the snowplow in front of it. How cool is that? These are nice. And it comes apart like this. 4 pieces. So, snap. 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 Erebus. And these are a whole different type of compound as well. I mentioned that earlier about the 200s, but these are also, you can tell these are different. And then finally, Ragnarok's head fell off. The Ragnarok, the Mimitar Titan. I'm not going to take it apart, but it comes into 4 pieces too. How cool is that? So those are the Titans, obviously. And then in the box, you also get really cool art cards, illustrated by me. Also cards, and then a whole new set of cards to affect the game and have Titan-specific activities on them. These are build cards for the Titans. If I can get them back. And there you go. And then the art cards. And then a whole little pack of faction-colored tokens to keep track of your build progress. Very nice. And so that is all the boxes that I have. I am missing one, which got caught in customs when we were in Iceland, and that is the Azariel Titan. So I didn't get to bring that one home because we didn't have it at FanFest. So it'll arrive hopefully with the rest of the game when it's delivered soon. I'm recording this at the beginning of June, and the game is in progress. You guys who have been following the Kickstarter know what the updates have been recently as far as delivery and shipping. It's coming really soon. Thank you all for being really patient. The development on this has been a little over 2 years now, and it's very exciting for me, and I'm sure it'll be very exciting for you to have this in your hands finally. So thank you for your support of the Kickstarter and for helping us develop a really exceptional game. And I hope that you'll be pleased with the quality when you get it, and that you'll have loads of fun playing this with your friends and family, driving them all crazy. And hopefully next year in May, when we go to FanFest, we will have a lot of really interesting battles together. So take care. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I can't believe that I'm saying that out loud, but it would be helpful, and I appreciate your support. Thanks, everybody. Take care.